Yeah.
So
And
then
that,
we see Grisha combat for the first time.
yeah, which was great, not because the magic was so cool. And this is more, again, this is more my obsession than yours, but I'll go ahead and get into it. So during the ambush, I was yelling at the screen because they and you know this, like you don't have to be a veteran. They've got their rifle slung when they're
Mm-hmm.
getting out of, like, oh, there's an obstruction up ahead. Well, let me look at it with my rifle slung over my shoulder with the part that kills people pointed at the sky. Like that part, I was like, man, these guys suck. You know, like I'm like they're like they're gonna get rocked because that's, and they did, and I love
Mm-hmm.
that. So on one hand, I'm like I have a hard time believing they're so bad that they don't have their weapons at the ready and pulling security. But on the other hand, I do like the execution of the ambush pretty well. I like that the casters are not so that there's a very logical exploration of the fact here that it's like, oh yeah, all the magic from D&D or Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is kind of what this is, um, it gets really a lot less valuable as soon as you have projectile weapons that can fire rapidly and are either self-loading or bolt action or something quick enough. And I like that her escort just gets rocked by people with guns. You know, that's pretty fun to me.
Uh,
Um,
Guns are better than magic. Yes, I can see why that would appeal.
yeah, yeah. Well, and like, not that I love magic. I play a wizard in D&D. I write about when I haven't published any of it yet, but I tend to have wizard main characters in my fantasy stuff. Magic is cool as hell, but I do like this exploration of, you know, as soon as you get to a certain level of industrialization, how relevant are the mages, are the wizards, the casters, the Grisha in this
and,
case.
and we go into that to jump
Mhm.
ahead a little bit to
Yeah,
later with the general going, kind of
yeah,
giving us numbers. They
yeah,
used to be worth 50 of us, and now it's 24 of us, and who knows what they'll be worth
yeah.
whenever.
And
Yeah.
I appreciate that so much because obviously the military logic of the show is not the main focus. But this is how bad most shows and movies do with military stuff, and is that if you show me you spent a little bit of time thinking about it and came to a reasonable conclusion, I'm really happy with you. So like it really made, I was like, thank you. Like you thought about that for a second and came up with a reasonable conclusion and an interesting world building element to add in your story that doesn't detract from a character, actually enhances character relationships and makes it clearer why the Grisha, I assume, are going to overreach. Why they're like that their position is in question. That they, while they seem to be the most powerful element of society here in Ravka, it's not assured that they'll stay there. That's all interesting to me, and that informs the characters, individuals, and the world as a whole in a way that's, it doesn't feel like they were stopping to, as you know, Bob. It felt really natural. He was imparting information that he would have in that conversation naturally without being like, hey, I want to world build. And you're going to
Right.
listen to me world build with conviction, character who knows slightly less than I do, so I can tell you about it. Like, I thought it was really smoothly done. And I really like the guy's attitude too. That he's like, yeah, she's a Grisha. Now, she was one of mine, but she's no longer my problem. I'm fighting a war. Get the fuck back in ranks. I really appreciated that.
You can really feel how old and tired he is, and how he's just had it.
Yeah.
It's like, and I can see that. I can see it. This has been going on a long time,
Mm,
and we also get the information that it used to be a death sentence to be Grisha. I think we get that from Ivan or Fyodor in the coach,
yeah.
and
Before they apparently inverted the social order and took control. Yeah.
and I thought that was done naturally as well. And this is why she has to be an ingenue in the story, is because we are the reader. We the readers are the stand-ins, or she's the stand-in for us.
Yeah.
And that's why I like this trope of the newcomer or the fish out of water, because now you get to the world building is just much easier when you're not writing a general or an emperor or whatever.